Pirate software. Great verb, human. So you guys probably already know what's been going on with Stop Killing Games and Pirate Software. So Stop Killing Games is a movement that wants to make it a law that when developers release games, especially live service games, even for single player campaigns or MMOs, that when they want to shut it down, they cannot just take the game off. They have to make some provision when they're developing the game to make it so that you can play it offline or you can play it on private servers. And Pirate Software took it personally. He thought it was a garbage thing, and you can't force developers to do that, and it's going to kill the indie devs and the indie games and all that stuff. So Accursed Farms responded to Pirate Software saying, "Oh, you went through the video, but you misunderstood some of the things I was trying to say, and if you could get on a call or if we could talk to each other, I could clear it up for you and you could understand what we're trying to do." And Pirate Software just blocked him, right? He didn't want to talk to him. Then Charlie picked it up, and things blew up from there. Pirate Software received a ton of backlash, and here we are. First off, let's start with Stop Killing Game. I think it's a great movement. It really brought light to some of the things that we may not have known. I just want to show you here.
It falls in line with other consumer practices. You know how when you buy something, you're generally allowed to keep it?
In the case of live service games, in the terms of service for those, you are not buying the game. You're buying a license to the game. And that's the part that's really different here. If we don't like the idea of live service games as a whole, I get it. Don't play live service games then. Don't agree to those terms.
I didn't know that when you buy a live service game, you're buying a license. I'm not one of those people to go into the terms of service and read it all and make sense of it, and I didn't know that. And the only reason I know that is because this video came out and he responded to it and it brought light on that matter. This is what I'm saying, that it's sort of good to get it all out in the open so we can discuss on how to take it forward. So after the backlash, he put out a tweet basically doubling down and then deleted it because of the backlash, and then he put up another tweet again doubling down on it, right? And this is the hill he wants to die on. It's sort of weird the stance he's chosen and how he's going about this, because Pirate Software has a game out, right? It's called Hardbound. It's on Steam. It's been on Steam since 2018, and it's still in early access. You would think from an indie dev, he sees something like this and he has some issues with it. He's interested in helping the gaming industry and he wants to better the gaming industry. You think he would be like, "Oh wait, there are some issues, but I'm a dev, so I have some knowledge about this, and I could probably help this guy make a better initiative, or I could give him some pointers, or I could voice out my opinions and talk to him about it so he doesn't get into trouble later, or this thing works out so we can do this." And you would think that, right? But no. So that's what I find weird, is that he just refuses to speak to the guy. And the other reason I'm making this video is I got to know about Pirate Software about a year ago when all the shorts blew up, and that's probably the case with all of you. And I saw a bunch of his shorts, and it was like, "Oh, here's this tip for this, and here's this small trick you can do in your computer, and oh, if you press Alt and print screen, it just takes a photo of the program and not the whole window." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, that's nice. I'll keep it in mind." And I sort of like that. But a while later, his shorts just kept on coming, and I would see things like where he'd brag about "Oh, I did this hacker thing, and I'm a great hacker," or "I hate Mr. Robot because they ripped me off," or "Oh, I worked at Blizzard and I hacked nuclear power plants," and all this stuff. And it just rubbed me off the wrong way. And I'm a hater, okay? And I hated him. I had no reason to justify it. It was just the way he talked. Now I have a reason, and I'm petty, but I don't want this to be just about my pettiness, right? I want it to have some substance. And since that point, there's been a bunch of controversies around him and about the way he acts and the way he carries himself. And I just want to say, he's a Reddit mod, okay? And he's a Reddit mod with a deep voice, and that's how he slipped by us, and he looks clean, so it's okay. We didn't get it. I just want to go through some of the stuff that he's done and the things that just makes him seem like such a child, right? Oh, actually, this is the representation of him. Oh, actually, it's not. Oh, actually. And he has no ability to take accountability for anything, and he speaks about things like he's the foremost expert in the world about it, right? He knows things that he's the only guy who knows about these things, and he's the only guy who can dissect and explain these things, and we should all listen to him. And he has that sort of air of arrogance around him all the time. So since then, there've been a bunch of stuff that have come up. So he was playing this game called Animal Well. It's a puzzle game, and he was playing it on stream, and I just want you to see this, okay?
Wait a minute. Wait. It's the lengths. It's the lengths. This is 4 blocks wide. This is 4 blocks wide. This goes in the top left.
A bit of context. The people watching his stream said that this jump in conclusion to solve the puzzle like made no sense, and he did it almost immediately. And later he said that, oh, he didn't like look it up, he just read it in chat. I don't know if it was for this game or some other game that he was also accused of cheating at. So, okay, if you looked it up in chat, what was with the Oscar-worthy performance, right? What was this? What was all this? What was all this for? Just say that you saw it in chat. It's fine. It's a stream, okay? No one's expecting you to solve this puzzle immediately, and you don't have to prove yourself that you're some sort of master gamer. Okay, just have fun with it. And this is what I'm talking about, right? He always has this need that he has to project himself as this genius, and that we're just mere mortals compared to him, and that he can do things that none of us can. And he just has this air of arrogance. And that brings me to the next clip, which is with Dr. K. He was on this call with Dr. K, and just listen to it.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. I don't see it that way, but all right.
Right? So, oh yeah, so you don't see it that way. You're wrong.
No.
I mean, it's not like I'm not proving a point. I'm not trying to make this psychoanalysis of him. But it's just nice that someone else feels the same way, and especially someone like Dr. K. When I was getting all his shorts a year ago, I just skimmed through his channel, and I didn't really watch any stream, but it just said like, oh, like something about supporting games and this and that, and I knew he was a dev, so I thought, oh, he's building his game online. That's pretty cool. And I thought that's what those streams were. I thought he was streaming himself, like coding the game, and people were watching, and in between he takes a break and he just throws out a fun fact, and people have fun, and they learn something. So about 2 months ago I found out that he doesn't do that. He doesn't stream himself building his game. He just streams himself playing other games, and that's okay. I mean, play games on stream, that's fine. I'm not knocking him for doing that, but there's these bunch of people who paid for your game in 2018, and it's been 7 years and it's still in early access, and he just released like 2 more chapters, and those were unfinished as well, just to make it seem that he didn't abandon his game. But there's been nothing further on that game. It's just there. And when people bring this up, and when people ask him about it in chat, and when people post reviews on Steam about it, saying that this game, there's been nothing new going on in this game, and it's just like a 5-hour playthrough for $10, and he just bans them. And if anyone brings up the $19,000 that he raised from his Kickstarter about it in chat, he bans them as well. And that brings me to another one of his traits, let's call it that. He can never admit he was wrong. See, it doesn't make you any less of a genius if you just say you were wrong about this or you misunderstood something, but he just cannot do that. About like 5 months ago, he was playing World of Warcraft online, and they were raiding this dungeon. He was with his group, who were a bunch of other streamers. They raided this dungeon, and things went sideways. They didn't have the resources to defeat the boss, and the shot caller said run. And the decision was made to run. Unfortunately, some people were stuck, and 2 people died, and this is on hardcore mode. If you die, you lose everything. You lose all your progress, and you can't get it back. And these were pretty high-level guys who died. PirateSoftware was playing the mage, right? And as soon as they said run, he ran. So after that, the other streamers, they said, hey, you could have actually done something to help us. You're a mage. And PirateSoftware was just like, oh, I had no mana. I can't do what can I do for you? That's okay. Mistakes happen, and you can't expect to perform like your best at all times and make split-second decisions and make the right split-second decisions. But it's just the way about how he addressed this controversy. He just doubled down. He responded to it not so well. They kicked him off the group, and it just left a bad taste in people's mouth. And this is after he always used to say that, oh, Mage is the only character who can actually do something in situations like that, just prior to this event happening. And there was this other instance when he was playing Ashes of Creation. He accidentally aggroed the boss, and he didn't realize it was him, okay? He didn't know that he did that, and he sort of went on this tirade about how the people playing with him were all shit, and he's gonna find out who did it, and he's gonna ban them, and it was like this 5-minute monologue calling them shit. And then someone in chat pointed out that, oh, he did that was actually on him. And then he was like, oh, my bad, and just went on with it. Dude, just say that you made a mistake. It's fine. It's why is there such a discrepancy in how you treat people when they make mistakes versus how you treat yourself when you make a mistake. And there was this other thing where he DMCA'd this creator of this indie game called Idle Streaming Bonanza. And it was like a shitpost of a game. It's fine. He's an indie dev. And, he tried to get some traction, and he posted this video on Reddit saying that, oh, I used PirateSoftware's voice in my game. PirateSoftware really took offense to this.
There was a dude earlier today that went onto Reddit and said that he was using my voice in a video game, showed a bunch of videos of it, and then put that game up on Steam. A lot of people in the thread told him not to do that, that would end up being a legal problem for him. He did it anyway. So I filed a DMCA claim, and he has now filed a counterclaim against me. We're going to take you to court. You're going to lose.
The creator of this game, he didn't really use PirateSoftware's voice in the game. He just said that probably to drum up some hype about the game and to get some traction. And he's an indie dev, and PirateSoftware should know that. He should know in what position he's in. And he just immediately went on to file a DMCA claim, and he didn't even verify if the streamer actually used his voice, right? He just went off this Reddit video. He found out later because people told him that, oh, it's actually not in the game. He just put up this tweet saying, the DMCA was absolutely not unlawful. We filed a DMCA in response to the dev claiming that he put my voice in his video game. When we filed the DMCA, he went on to state that this was all bait in an effort to boost his game. And that's the gist of it, right? But why wouldn't you just check and see if it was in the game first before filing a DMCA based off a video on Reddit? How is that not unlawful? You didn't even verify to see if what he's saying was true. You just went off a Reddit video. And I'm not trying to be petty, but I'm sort of glad that people have seen his true colors, right? What kind of a person he is. He's just not my type of person, and I think people were sort of misled when all his shorts blew up. It's okay, now that they know, I guess this filters down his audience, and people can make the decision for themselves if they want to support him or not. And if you guys are in the EU, please go and sign the petition for Stop Killing Games. I think the deadline is on 31st of July. It's at about 700k right now, and it needs to get to 1 million. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you again.